world with peace and Toodles.
Hey there, strangers. Welcome back to the show.
I'm Peace. I'm Peace.
That makes me Toodles.
That's right.
Hey,
Damn straight.
that's me. Last I checked.
Today, our topic of discussion is going to be
The Greek,
creation story
the story of creation.
from
the Greeks. The Greeks and their gods and mythologies, and we're gonna dive into a topic that is definitely.
Is this a topic that you're familiar with, or are you coming at this as like a?
This is one of those where you were like, "Hey, let's do a podcast about this."
Okay,
Like,
right. Fresh
I
eyes.
have no idea about any of it, but okay, let's
It was
go.
either this or the Bale cycle.
Oh.
We'll probably do a few episodes from now cover the Bale cycle.
So, some last minute reading, and that's about all I got for the Greeks.
But first, we will delve into our first segment of the show.
Our
Ponderings.
updates,
Yes,
and
updates.
ponderings.
Ponderings, peace, and Toodles.
So I can't remember the last update I gave about my cat, Misty,
Yeah, poor thing.
but we think that Misty is no longer with us. And our other cat is very depressed.
Yeah, I saw it on his face when I came in here.
I think that he knows.
He's kind of just, and I'm not being funny. He did look like usually he looks more happy. Lucky is a very like neighborly cat, but today he just seemed kind of closed off.
He's much more needy for attention now.
Yeah.
He loves he'll sleep in the bed with us at night, which he never did before.
He misses his wife.
He does.
Yeah.
Even though
They used to, dude. It was the cutest thing. There were these two black and white cats, and I'd walk in and I'd see them sitting in this bed together, just spooning each other.
dude, even though one of them doesn't have balls.
He still,
No
he
balls.
still has feelings for her, you know.
This is true.
It was a companiative type love.
It's a platonic relationship.
Yeah, you know, maybe they
Not by his choice, but
maybe they did other things. Who knows?
can you? Without those
Male dogs that are neutered
Specific
still
members?
like they still want to do that. You know, if there's like a female
Whoa.
dog that's in heat, they'll still
what
get all the same
rascals.
urges.
What rascals. So we think that Misty crawled under this crawl space in our kitchen that is not accessible by humans. There's a little like 6-inch tall, foot wide hole in the basement that you can get there. And that is the only way, unless you go in between like a space of the same size from outside. So you can't really get in here. And we started smelling something pretty bad. And we're pretty sure she probably crawled in there and got stuck somewhere. And I peeled the side of the house and crawled in there a little bit. And I could not see anything, but I could smell it.
Hopefully, it's mouse and
I hope so.
Misty's just somewhere hitchhiking, carrying a knapsack,
I'm waiting for the day that
doing the
she
Misty
just,
Mountain Hop.
she just shows up on our doorstep. I miss our little Misty, dude.
Yeah.
It's part of the dynamic of the family that's gone.
So, while we're on the topic of losses,
Oh no.
I'm suffering another loss. By the way, rest in peace, Misty. If you're dead. If not, safe travels,
If not, get the frick back home.
Yeah, maybe at least, email
keep the light
us
on
at
for ya.
peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Peace and Toodles, A-N-D, not the and symbol.
The ampersand.
So, Misty, reach out to us, just let us know you're okay.
I'll have a brand new can of salmon flavored food for you.
Tuna.
It's waiting.
Yeah.
I'll even heat it up.
The soft cat food. But, so while we're on the topic of losses, I might have mentioned that I was doing a powerlifting competition. I might have mentioned that to you guys before. Well, I did the powerlifting competition this morning, and last year I got first place. Deadlifted heavier than I'd ever deadlifted. Benched pretty. I did better on bench this year, but this year I got 5th place.
Are you wearing the same shorts that you wore at the competition?
No.
Do you wear less gay shorts there?
The shorts I wore last year, if you're equating shortness with gay, they were pretty gay.
That's kind of how it goes. I mean, what you're wearing right now.
Okay, so for powerlifting, they want you to have tight shorts so that they can see your form well, like, and make sure your hamstrings are parallel to the floor.
Doing skinny jeans.
Doing the depth. If you're having baggy shorts, you can't really tell. Skinny jeans, I'd rather just use my tight short shorts.
Either way.
So
it's pretty good.
Got 5th place. I might even, by the time we do this episode, I think we'll have a like on social media, a Facebook page for the podcast. I might, when we do this episode, share this video for you guys to see. My opening round when I was doing squat. We start with squat. I'd done this before, like in the squatting rack. They had this like hardwood floor. My feet have slipped before, but I've never did what I did today. I was squatting 405, opened up with that, and I was going halfway up, and my one foot slips forward, and I do the splits with 405 on my shoulders. I fall back. Yeah, because I've never had an accident that bad, but I try to anticipate falling in a way that like doesn't kill me. And my friend Dylan Woods, who was helping spot today at the competition, shout out to Dylan Woods. He pretty much saved my life. He caught the other half of it, which was, what would that be? 202.5 pounds caught, and it otherwise probably would have came down on me worse. And then,
if I was there, I would have put more plates on it, like we talked about.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Jonathan.
Just to make you look good.
Yep. Well, everybody was watching this. There was like probably 15, 16 people just in the crowd watching. And so they would have known that that's what I went down with.
Only them.
So
when it makes the news later, it'll say there's like 5 plates on each side.
Had another accident when I was deadlifting 515. And last year I did 540. I just working longer hours, burning more calories this year, so I think I don't have the juice in me that I had last year. And I don't mean juice in that way. I'm natty. Natty for now. I'm not opposed to doing gear down the road, but right now I'm trying to get the the most out of my natty potential. Try to ride that out as long as I can, ride the natty train.
What would you think about taking down the road?
TRT. Yeah. TRT, that's something you can get from a doctor. It's something that's well studied. I'd start with TRT. But, so yeah, I was doing 515, and I was doing it, I was coming all the way up, about to straighten up fully, and then my left arm, I did the full set, but I feel my bicep on my left arm like pop back. And it didn't hurt, but it felt funny. And upon further investigation, because we had 3 physical therapists there, they said that they think I might have slightly torn my bicep. Like it's just a little tear. Like I'm still very mobile. It doesn't hurt. I can even flex it and it's fine. But there's like kind of this like sprain feeling, So I'm gonna take it easy.
So you had
the next few days and try to.
So you wiped out in a squat because they had to polish their dang hardwood to make it all fancy, and you pulled a bicep doing a deadlift.
Well, and these socks I'm wearing are brand new. They have never been worn before today, and they do feel extra slippery. So actually, I think it might have been my brand new socks.
Oh no!
Mixed with the hardwood, because I've kind of slipped around on it before, but. And usually I'm in front of a mirror, too, when I'm squatting. There was no mirror. I was facing out towards the crowd.
That sounds like a rough competition. Did anyone else sustain injuries?
Not injuries. The worst thing that happened was there's a handful of guys that couldn't do the, couldn't finish through with the rep. It's 1 rep. Nobody, I had like a few accidents. Nobody else, as far as I know, had any accidents. There was a time that I started with 495 on deadlift, and then for my second set, I was going to do 515, And then for the following set, I was gonna do like 535, but and this hasn't really happened with 515 before. But I went to get it, and it like slipped out of my hand just as I was like going to lift, and so obviously that counts. And then so I had to do 515 for my final, and I've deadlifted heavier than that before. Didn't have the issue with my bicep. Never had that issue with my bicep before in terms of deadlifting. But I'm thinking,
Was it preventable?
I'm thinking I might. They have this. Oh, absolutely, yeah. They have this competition at my gym every year. It's an annual Fit Stop Centerville exclusive. So most of the people there that participate there's a few people who I don't think go to Fit Stop in Centerville regularly, but so they do it annually. It's exclusive to our gym, and I think I'll do it every year. But I'm not gonna. I kind of want to start training more for like combination of bodybuilding and athleticism. Like for work, I'm on my feet a lot more, and I'm feeling a lot more nimble and energetic. Like I find myself like jumping around like landscape and stuff when I'm weed whacking, like jumping over things, and I'm feeling more nimble. So I think I want to like maybe train for some mud runs, and I think I might actually want to start. I used to not want to, but I think I'm open to doing like a bodybuilding competition down the road.
Ooh.
I'd like to do one natty, but again, like I said, I'm not opposed to taking gear. But I want to get the most out of my natty potential. And I'm 29, so I think I have a few years to write out my natty potential. But
You got plenty of years left.
yeah.
You got a decade left.
I just, I'm going to keep pushing upward, and until I plateau heavily for a long amount of time, I'm going to stay away from anything like that, because I think I can put on natural mass pretty well without any gear. I haven't even been training for mass for like 6 months, and I would say I got the mass. Helps being short, though.
It does help being short. And you're pretty barrel-chested, too.
Yeah.
You got some thick, with 2 C's. You got some thick bones.
32-inch waist, 54-inch shoulders.
Whoa. Let's measure mine.
If do you have a tape measure?
I don't think so.
I got one in my truck if you want me to run out and get it.
Nah, that's all good.
Okay.
We'll tell them on the next episode what it is.
54-inch shoulder. So, like, if I work on my core a little bit more to slimming down, I can have, like, a wonderful V-taper.
I bet you could.
This discussion of physicality and physique, it's kind of a good segue into our topic of discussion today.
Is it?
Greek culture.
It was encouraged to have a small penis
And a
chiseled body.
chiseled physique, yeah.
Apparently, it was a sign of intelligence to have a.
If somebody had a big dick, it was like they were seen as like this dumb barbarian.
Dumb barbarians.
Yeah.
Oh, how times have changed.
Yeah, I don't know who started that. I don't think that was an idea widely embraced by other cultures. I'm pretty sure other cultures, for the better half of history, have like the bigger the schlong, like the more blessed you are, the more you're,
I have to get help going to the bathroom.
What?
Because my doctor said I can't hold anything over 10 pounds.
That's, I was talking to an old man. Like, he was like probably well over 75, and he was talking about he had to get like a surgery. I think he had like a hernia or something.
I hate
So he was like, yeah, I'm having trouble going to the bathroom. Doctor said don't lift anything over 20 pounds. I'm like,
that's funny.
you don't want to, when an old man that's like pushing, he's over 80, I think. He makes a joke like that. That's okay.
Hey, you can say, dude, it's going to be nice when you get to that age where it doesn't matter what you say.
Doesn't matter, no, yeah. Your song is kind of sung, and this is just
You can be crazy. You can say whatever you want. You can be offensive. Blame it on your declining mental health.
Wow, yeah. You still want to leave a legacy behind, though. you do want to be remembered as old grandpa who gave like endearing words of wisdom, or grandpa who, maybe don't let him talk to the girls. Yeah.
That's the grandpa that sits over in the corner and says something crazy, and everybody's like, don't pay attention to him. That's just grandpa. I don't need to worry about what he says. So, the Greek creation story. So, is this the creation of the world or of Greece?
Of the world. And then it's going to delve into the gods.
Did the gods create the world? Who's responsible for this?
The world, in a certain sense, so it starts out as most creation stories do. It starts out with chaos.
Chaos in what if there's nothing?
The Greek creation story begins with chaos, the void from which the universe was born.
How's there chaos in a void if there's nothing in a void?
Well, from nothing comes something. As with every creation story. Well, actually, like the Old Testament creation story, for example, or other ones, it kind of sometimes has the gods kind of like in this story, has the gods merging out of the earth. Kind of like in Genesis, it mentions humans merging out of the earth. From the earth come the other gods, and they almost kind of inherit and rule over this universe who is almost pre-existent. Like even in the Old Testament, we have God sometimes interacting with creation and not just like creating something purely out of nothing. If you consider like Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, two different creation stories. We had Dr. Jim DeFrancisco on, by now it'll be a couple months ago, but if you want to get a further understanding of what we were talking about the difference between Genesis 1 and Genesis 2, that would be a perfect episode to scroll back to get you caught up.
So is this creation story starting with the gods that came out of the earth, or is it saying how the void was created, how the earth was created?
So some writers of myth, I'm borrowing a lot of mine from Stephen Fry, his book Mythos, but
if this is
sometimes they'll give like explanation of like how maybe something like that would have happened, like chaos represents the after the Big Bang, just the elements of the universe after the Big Bang and total chaos. And then, so like here it says, the Greek creation story begins with chaos, the void from which the universe was born. From chaos emerged Gaia, the earth. That is the archetypal mother god in the Greek creation.
So the earth is a god.
Goddess.
Oh.
So it starts with two goddesses. There was chaos.
So do people modern day believe this story? Do the Greeks believe this?
There's remnants, there's small groupings of people that do. I believe it's called, one second actually.
Because like why at its core is it called,
what is the what are the people who practice or embrace Greek polytheism in the modern world called?
Let's see. In the modern world, people who practice or embrace Greek polytheism are often referred to as Hellenists or Hellenic polytheists. Some also use terms like Hellenismos or Hellenic Reconstructionists to describe their spiritual practices and traditions. These individuals seek to revive and honor the ancient Greek gods, goddesses, and cultural practices in a contemporary context.
how can you believe something that's called mythology? I wasn't asking you.
As it implies that these stories are purely fictional or fantastical. However, for many people who practice Hellenism or study ancient Greek culture, mythology represents a rich collection of stories, legends, and histories that hold deep cultural and spiritual significance. These stories often convey moral lessons, explain natural phenomena, and provide insights into the human condition. While the historical accuracy of specific events or characters might be debated, the mythologies themselves remain valuable for their symbolic, poetic, and philosophical truths. In other words, the value of mythology lies not just in its historical veracity.
What a mic hog.
She wasn't even like, I didn't know she was still listening when you asked that.
I wasn't talking to you, Meta.
But like,
Chill.
okay, so there's many academics, people like who study the Bible on an academic level. They will refer to like the creation story in the Bible. I think much of like the Iron Age biblical characters, they'll refer to those stories as mythology usually.
There's also an apocryphal book called The Apologies of Utterstes, where he lists name by name in a list kind of organization of a bunch of Greek and Egyptian gods, and he's basically just explaining to whoever the pharaoh or I don't know, the king of Rome, whoever
Caesar.
the hairy. Was it Caesar? I don't know. It might have been Caesar, but it doesn't matter. What he's saying is like he lists all these gods, and he's like, you know, how can this be a god if they lusted after man, fell from the skies, and they live on the earth? How can this be a god if he was killed and brought back? How can this be? And basically just going through all these, denouncing all of them to, at the end, finally claim the God that Christians believed in.
So, like, you see a lot of...
It was common belief.
In old literature, including the Bible, but literature, Judeo-Christian literature surrounding, or commentary on the Bible, you'll see it a lot where... And I think it starts back with Zoroastrianism, and when Israel came out of Babylon.
What's Zoroastrianism?
That was a very old religion that... They were kind of the beginning of monotheism. I believe that's where Judaism, Israelites, I believe that's where they actually got a lot of their monotheistic inspiration. Because when we see the Jews coming out of Persia, we see a lot more discussion about angels and demons, and there's this discussion that starts going on throughout literature about the gods of other nations being fallen angels. Where previously it was kind of more of a henotheism. You would hear the Old Testament authors refer to gods of other nations, but those nations are supposed to worship those gods. To us, we have a covenant with Yahweh.
I've wondered about that sometimes.
And so you see the separation, like, you know, they have their gods aren't superior. We follow the superior God, and they can follow them, but we're supposed to follow Yahweh. To where after the exile from Persia, the exile from Babylon, we see the Israelites adopting this mentality. Much more angels and fallen angels become a bigger part of the discussion.
Shoot, maybe all the religions are right, and we all just end up in the eternal destination of the belief system.
But what a lot of cultures would do, like the Greeks, they would see the gods of the Egyptians, and vice versa, and they would be like, "Oh, okay, so like for example, Set is Hermes." You know, there's kind of like synchronism. They would kind of do the same thing, but they would identify Zeus and Horus. I don't know if they used that one, but they would say, okay, those are the same ones. And so basically the Judeo-Christian approach to doing that was, okay, see, those gods are fallen angels because another god doesn't exist in that mentality.
Do you think a lot of these gods were actually beings or entities of some kind? Or do you think it's just constructs of imagination?
I don't know where it came from. You know, it could have been aliens, you know?
True. I mean, to mankind, that all they had was these primitive tools and stuff. You know, an alien coming by and flying around on a ship could look like magic or some kind of godly power.
When I think of these can't talk. These gods, you know, like Zeus, Baal, you know, they had bodies, they bled, they sweat, they ate, they drank. I think aliens could perfectly fit into a conversation about that.
Heck yeah.
Also,
using chemtrails to make lightning rain down. There we got Zeus, spraying some aluminum flakes in the clouds, making it rain. Now we got some storm gods.
but if not,
Heck
there
yeah.
there absolutely are. They're reflections of the human conscious, and
Maybe we know how to time travel and somebody went
Archetypes.
back with like a helicopter and he was a god. Maybe somebody went back with a phone and got burned for being a witch or something, because that's like magic.
why would they go back in time in a helicopter?
Got to get around somehow.
Yeah, but
You don't want to be.
if you're going back in time, you're probably not flying helicopters.
It could
around.
be a time traveling helicopter.
I would think more of a hover jet.
Or they got Bigfoot to take him back, because apparently he can time travel.
So
So the Greek creation story, we got the Earth that was
Yes.
was like, bloop, I'm here out of the void.
Gaia,
The
Earth,
goddess.
the Mother Earth goddess,
Mother
emerges
Earth.
from chaos, and then also other gods emerge from chaos. Eros, love.
So this kind of already
Erebus, darkness.
This already sounds like Judas, how stuff was just like birthing itself out of clouds.
Yeah. Doesn't necessarily explain how this takes place, but that leaves room for creative licensing. Erebus, darkness, and Nyx, night. And Gaia also gave birth to Uranus, or Uranus, sorry, the sky. Oftentimes, oh, and by the way,
How are dark and
her
night two
son
different things?
becomes her husband.
Get out of here.
Gaia, the earth.
That's gross.
Gaia, the earth, and Uranus, the sky, or Uranus, the sky. That is a pattern you see in many different cultures. Sky father, earth mother.
I hope it was a step parent.
It wasn't.
That's despicable.
You'll see a lot of this in Greek myth,
Great.
especially amongst the gods. Now, I don't think you see it so much in like tales of the heroes, tales of the humans in Greek myth. You do have Oedipus.
So these things must be then some kind of physical creatures in order to reproduce with each other, right? Otherwise, they could just snap their fingers and be like, boom, I'm creating this.
Might be thinking too deeply into it.
That, I don't know. There's holes in the story already.
So we have the Sky Father, Earth Mother. You see that a lot in ancient cultures.
Okay.
It represents, in some ways, if you think about it sexually, the sky sends down rain. The sky, the
Gross.
rain was seen as semen,
Oh my gosh.
and then it goes into the earth, and from the earth comes life.
I'm going to never kiss my wife in the rain again.
And so we have, these are the original gods.
I can see that, though. Rain bringing life and making stuff grow
Yes.
and whatnot.
Yeah. Also, perhaps representing like sexual positions. Many,
How the man's supposed to be on top.
many ancient cultures. Yes, we have
And
the
now
story
who's
of
thinking too
Adam
far
and,
into it?
Adam and Lilith.
Yeah, I was just going to bring that up. That's exactly why Adam and Lilith broke up.
The
The
rabbis,
first breakup in history.
in some very old rabbinic literature, we have the rabbis saying that the position of woman being on top, man being on bottom was unnatural, and diarrhea is a result of that.
Nah, dog, I've had diarrhea long before sex. Let's be honest here.
Well, if you have diarrhea, according to this old way of thinking, you'll get the shits, and it's because, well, apparently you're not doing the masculine thing.
Well, what if you're a
And-
virgin with diarrhea, then what?
That's a good
Yeah.
question.
Yeah. I've had virgin diarrheas long before.
Tell me a little bit about how the rabbis said that diarrhea was God's punishment from letting your wife have sex on top.
Freaking AI, dude.
I don't have information about a rabbi making that statement. If you're looking for information on religious perspectives on health or relationships, I'd be happy to.
Thanks for nothing.
Yeah. You'll just have to take my word for it.
Well, okay, so what are the children that Sky Daddy and Earth Mom had?
All right.
So we got a void, and then there's nothing. It's chaos, and we get Earth, and then we get sky, night, darkness. What else was there?
We have Erebus, darkness, Nyx, night, Gaia, and then Gaia gave birth to Uranus,
What's Uranus?
and Pontus, the sea. Uranus is the sky.
Gotcha.
Or Uranus, that's also.
Wait, so Earth gave birth to the sky, and okay. Then Pontius was the sea?
Pontus,
Pontus.
the sea.
Like pond.
Uranus and Gaia had many children, including the Titans and the Cyclops.
All right, let's break this down one by one. What are the Titans?
So
Those were the gods that would like battle each other, right?
Yes. Oh, well, soon we'll see that the Titanomachy will take place. That's at a certain point, the Olympians and the Titans battle each other.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I've heard this.
It's
I've heard this story
that's
before.
another mythological trend. You know, we see Marduk fighting Tiamat and the earlier gods in the Mesopotamian creation story, the Enuma Elish. And then in the Nordic creation story, we have Odin and his brothers battling the frost giants, the nation of, or a set of earlier gods. So this is a pattern you see throughout cultures: is new generation of gods battles the old generation of gods, and then they rule over everything.
Who rules over?
The new gods.
Okay.
Uranus and Gaia had many children, including the Titans and the Cyclopes. However, Uranus was afraid of being overthrown and imprisoned by the Cyclops and the 100-headed giants.
What the frick?
Yeah. These giants had
100 heads.
100 heads.
That's hard to imagine.
The Hecatoncheires. So it says he pushed them within Gaia. Like he pushed them back in.
Maybe they're talking about the angels that are covered with eyes in the Bible.
Well,
They're
it's not
counting them.
entirely clear because Gaia, the goddess, and Gaia, the earth, they're the same word. So how it's often depicted, I believe, like Uranus sends them to live into the caves underneath the earth. You know, we have...
So that's where we get our lizard people.
In a lot of ancient cultures, you
Gotcha.
have, like... There's these creepy monsters who live deep down in the caves in the unknown parts of the earth, you know.
And these creatures were which ones in the story that went in the caves?
They were the... Oops. He imprisoned the Cyclopes, the Cyclops,
Yep.
and the Hecatoncheires.
And that must be the 100-headed thing.
Yep. Gaia, angry and in pain, conspired with her son Kronos to overthrow Uranus, and she went to a variety of her children.
She's playing favorites now.
Yeah, she went to a variety of her children and tried to get them to like help me overthrow your father.
Sounds
Maybe.
like a terrible mother. She gives birth to a child, has babies with it, and then uses those babies to overthrow the first child that she had the babies with.
Well, because he rejected a set of her babies, the Cyclops and the Hecatoncheires, because they were, compared to the Titans, they were blemishes. They were like abominations to him. So he shoved them back in the earth. And this says that she's writhing and in pain.
A distant dad figure. Okay.
So imagine like him putting the babies back in her, and she's constantly has these babies stuck within her.
Gross. Sounds like a crappy set of parents either way you cut it. Poor Greeks, man.
Kronos, his weapon or his implement that he carried was a scythe. Imagine the one like the Grim Reaper carries.
Is he a reaper?
He was, I believe, seen as the god of time, Kronos.
I have to figured he'd be like the god of crops or something with a scythe. Or a reaper. God of time.
Tell me what all Kronos was god of.
Good question. In Greek mythology, Kronos is often depicted as the god of time. However, it's worth noting that Kronos is sometimes confused with Cronus, who is a different figure. Cronus is the Titan god of agriculture, fertility, and the harvest, as well as the king of the Titans. He is infamous for overthrowing his father Uranus, and later being overthrown by his own son Zeus. Kronos, on the other hand, personifies time and is often associated with the cyclical nature of time and the passage of seasons.
So I guess I didn't know this, but I guess that the sun that overthrows Uranus is the Earth
A farmer.
farmer god. Yeah, of harvest.
Flannel-clad, bearded farmer guy.
So she makes this plan with her son to later on that night, Gaia and Uranus, they're gonna have sex. She's gonna be lying in bed waiting for him.
How does the Earth lie in bed?
I think they're like, I don't know. I think they're like, it's like me, like say I represented the sun. Like it's a part of me, but it's not me. I'm like the avatar that's, I'm not entirely sure how this works, you know? It could, I don't know if it's talking about elements in relation to each other or personifications of the elements. I think I'm pretty sure that's the way that most people go with it. But, you know, the thing with myth is it's super fantastical. And
the thing with myth is that it's myth.
Yeah. You don't have to take it too seriously necessarily. So.
I just want the deets, man.
Kronos, he's hiding in the cleft of the rock, right?
Great way to hide from your mother, hiding your mother, right? Okay. Makes more sense.
And Kronos shows up, Gaia's laying there waiting for him, and she's like, come to me.
It's like that temple prostitute for Enkidu.
And they climb in bed, and Kronos hears a bunch of kissing and slibbering and slobbering and whatnot, and then he leaps out of behind the rock, and then with his scythe, he cuts off his father's penis and balls.
And does what with them?
Picks them
Not
up,
important.
tosses them up and down in his hand a couple times, and then casts them across the world. And as they're flying across the world, blood and semen fall onto the ground in the sea.
Of course it does.
And guess what happens after that?
Probably a whole bunch of children pop up, and
From his blood and semen,
sounds like ritualistic magic.
the
to me.
Furies and the giants in the
what in the Giants?
the Furies.
Furies.
Yes. We can go into them a little bit soon if you want to. The Millenniae, I believe that's how that's pronounced. Nymphs of the ash trees were born. Kronos then became the ruler, but fearing a prophecy that one of his children... Okay, that's going a bit too far ahead.
This is weird. So like you have to have
He picks up his penis and balls, throws it across the world, and as it's flying, blood and semen fall down into the earth and water, and from that grow other gods.
Should I label this as explicit? This
Absolutely.
show? Okay.
Yes.
So how is it that you have to have sex for things to be created, but yet this dick and balls flying through the sky is making all these creations as if the act of sex is meaningless? Some loopholes in the story, man.
That's a good question. So Kronos then becomes the ruler, but fearing prophecy. Oh, yes. He says as after Kronos tosses his father's stuff across the world.
The Sky Dad.
Yes.
Uranus.
Uranus
Okay.
curses him and says, just as you betrayed me, one of your sons will betray you.
But does he have children yet?
Well, we'll see. So, Kronos, he marries his wife, his sister.
Obviously.
His sister. Marries his sister, Rhea.
What is up with this?
And every time she has a baby, Kronos takes the baby, opens his mouth up wide, swallows it whole, gulps it down.
Why?
Baby's gone. Because
cannibalism
he
and
doesn't
incest.
want the prophecy to come true about his son defeating him.
Apparently, there's no supernatural deity-sized birth control yet.
So, because he has this guilt of maiming his father, he fears any of his descendants or siblings, brothers, sisters, of betraying him. So he hoards all the power to himself. And he's God over everything. That's something that will be a little different between him and Zeus.
So how is he God over everything if, like, everything is a thing? Like, the whole earth is a goddess, the sky is a god, darkness is a god. How does he rule over anything?
He's top dog. He's, like, seen as top of the hierarchy.
Why? Why him?
He killed his father. Got his stuff off.
Oh, that killed him?
No. No, he defeated his father, I should say.
Gotcha.
Yes.
All right. Okay, I'm tracking so far.
So fearing
A little traumatized, but I'm tracking.
that one of his descendants would defeat him, he swallows each and every one of them. However, his wife Rhea managed to save their youngest child, Zeus, by giving Kronos a rock wrapped in cloth instead.
And he didn't notice this.
Nope.
Apparently just swallowed them whole or something.
Just swallows the blanket whole. So, Rhea hides Zeus in the mountains. And he lives... one second. Let me ask AI who he lived with in the mountains, because I can't quite remember, and I want to get their...
What mountains?
I want to get their names right. Who did Rhea send Zeus to live with in the mountains, and what mountains were they?
Let's see. When Rhea saved Zeus from being swallowed by Cronus, she sent him to live with a nymph named Adamantia on Mount Ida in Crete. According to myth, Adamantia cared for Zeus and brought him up in secret, hiding him from his father Cronus. Mount Ida provided a safe and nurturing environment for the young Zeus to grow and eventually fulfill his destiny.
So even though he's a god, he still has to be raised up as a child.
Yep.
Okay. Adam, what? Adam something. The nymph.
Yes. Let me pull that name up. Adamantia.
Adamantia.
I believe that's where we get the word adamantium. For metal.
That's a word for metal? That's news to my uneducated self.
What does adamantia mean?
When someone is described as uneducated,
Oh, you just got me right. What does the name adamantia mean?
the name Adamantia, or more commonly Adamantia, is derived from the Greek word adamas, meaning unconquerable or invincible. In mythology and literature, the term adamant often refers to a hard, unyielding
Adamant.
substance, like
I
diamond
see.
or steel. So the name Adamantia likely conveys strength and resilience, fitting for a nymph who cared for the young Zeus and helped him grow strong enough to challenge his father.
And so what I meant was, like, you know, in X-Men, the metal that Wolverine's skeleton's made out of,
Yeah.
adamantium, that comes from that word, invincible metal. Yeah.
Fascinating.
Yes.
All right, cool.
So she's raised, or he's raised in the mountains with her, Adamantia, until he is a youth,
And he goes on a killing spree and has sex with more relatives.
You'll see. You'll see.
Just a thought. Just an idea. What's up with this incest, though?
So,
Man.
Rhea goes to visit Kronos one day, and she brings Zeus with her. And she's like, "Oh, this is a male servant that I brought you." You know.
Oh, no.
He doesn't realize it's the son. He's like, "Ooh."
He's going to kill him.
And she gives him this elixir that Adamantia made. Right?
Wait, does she know the prophecy about the child betraying Kronos?
Yes. Yep.
Well,
I
that
believe she
seems
does.
kind of reckless then, doesn't it?
So she gives him this elixir, and as Zeus is standing there, he starts feeling funny, and he starts puking, and one by one, each and one of the Olympians come out, the children that he
Gosh,
swallowed.
dude. Oh, no.
Who were the Olympians that Kronos coughed out?
Good question. According to Greek mythology, Cronus swallowed each of his children as they were born, fearing one would overthrow him. Later, Zeus tricked Cronus into drinking a potion that caused him to cough up all of his swallowed children. The Olympians that Cronus coughed up were Hestia, Demeter, Here, Hades, and Poseidon. After being regurgitated, these siblings joined Zeus in his battle against the Titans, and ultimately helped him.
So who are the Titans?
The Titans were the older gods, the old gods that we mentioned before.
That sprung up because of the the flying.
So
Venus?
since
Okay.
he defeated their king god, they go to war.
There's only 4 Olympians?
And what
I guess 5 counting Zeus.
Oh, by the way, when to backtrack a little bit, when Kronos maimed his father Uranus, he also cut his mother's belly open so that the Cyclopes and the Hecaton Curies could come out.
Oh.
Yes.
So were they Titans or Olympians?
They weren't. They were considered Cyclopes or Hecaton Curies.
They're their own thing.
Yeah, they're their own thing.
All right. Do they play into the story later, or are they just?
Yes. So
Oh, okay.
Zeus goes to the caverns of the earth, and he goes and gets the Cyclopes and the Hecaton Curies, and tells them they'll have freedom if they help him defeat the Titans. And through that, he secures his victory against the Titans
Why does he need to kill the Titans?
because they're trying to kill him.
Why are they trying to kill him?
Because
Frick did Zeus do?
he waged war on their father, their king.
Oh, the Titans'
yeah.
king was Kronos.
Kronos, yes.
He was the ruler of the Titans.
Yes.
Gotcha.
And so, after he coughs up Zeus' siblings, Zeus leads them in a war against the Titans. And as a result of the victory, Zeus he's like the father king, the king god.
In their victory, do they kill Kronos also, or just the Titans?
I don't think so.
Sorry I'm asking so many questions, but this is fun. I've never gone to that in depth into this.
And I was planning on mostly pulling from Mythos, Stephen Fry's book Mythos, but it's just so handy to have AI right here with like anything that I can't really pull up as fast as I could with.
Can you change its accent?
You want to hear it? You want it to sound like John Cena?
I want it to sound French.
Hey, we can't do that.
Why?
We'll have it sound like John Cena for the rest of the episode, though.
Make it sound like Snoop Dogg.
Can't do that.
Oh my gosh, what good is it? AI, get better.
What was your question?
When they defeated the Titans, did they also kill Kronos? Or just the Titans?
When the Olympians defeated the Titans, did they kill Kronos?
Well, when the Olympians defeated the Titans in the Titanomachy, Cronus' fate varied according to different accounts. In
Dog.
some versions of the myth, Cronus was imprisoned in Tartarus, a place of eternal torment, along with the other defeated Titans. However, in other accounts, Cronus was not killed, but instead was banished or became a ruler of the islands of the Blessed or some other realm. He wasn't typically depicted as being killed by the Olympians.
Change it back to the British guy. I like him better.
That was a girl. That was a British girl.
That was not a girl.
Yes, it was. It was clearly a woman.
I thought it was like an old, feebly man.
Judi Dench is the name.
Sorry, Judy.
Pleasure to meet you. I'm Meta AI. I'm here.
Well, that's awkward. So, he's sent to, said Tartarus?
Yes.
So these Olympians, their names, there's like Hades. That's a place also.
Mm-hmm.
Poseidon. Is that not a river? Or is it like, is that a place too?
That's the god of the... Poseidon's the god of the sea.
Okay. And then what are the other two?
1 second. All right, so this is each each Olympian, how they were born, and what they're god of.
Okay.
I'm going to skip over Zeus. We'll get to him last. We have Poseidon, the god of the sea, the son of Kronos and Rhea, swallowed by Kronos, but after regurgitated, god of the sea, earthquakes and horses.
Horses?
Earthquakes and horses.
Okay.
Hera, queen of the gods. This is the goddess that is sister of Zeus, but also his wife.
And she's got her rabbits.
She's
Squirrels, maybe?
She was also swallowed by Kronos, and she's the goddess of marriage, family, childbirth, and women. All things feminine.
I see.
We have Demeter, the goddess of agriculture. Another one that was swallowed by Kronos.
Thought that was the other guy.
You'll see many times gods and their functions overlapping. Athena, goddess of wisdom, daughter of Zeus and Metis, born from Zeus's head after he swallowed her pregnant mother. Goddess of wisdom and war and crafts. Okay, so we talked about this a little bit on
I thought Sophia was
episode
wisdom.
3. Sophia is not Greek mythology.
Oh.
Yes. That's
I think we said it was.
here's a little bit about Metis. Metis was a Titan in Greek mythology known for her wisdom, cunning, and intelligence. She was the daughter of the Titans and Oceanus and Tithys. Metis became the first wife of Zeus. She was pregnant with their child when Zeus learned of a prophecy that stated Metis would give birth to a child who would overthrow him, just like Zeus had overthrown his father Kronos. To prevent this, Zeus swallowed Metis while she was pregnant. So they were kind of playing this little sex game where they were playing tag. They were turning into different animals because the Greek gods, they have the ability to shape into like specific animals. Or for Zeus,
And apparently they like swallowing each other too.
Zeus, one that he turns into commonly is either a bull or a eagle. And so Zeus and Metis, they're playing their little sex game.
So Enkidu killed
And
Zeus.
He
'Cause
turns
killed the
he
bull of
turns
heaven?
into a lizard or a frog, and she turns into a fly, and that's when he swallows her.
Well, that's the stupidest thing ever.
Then months down the road, he has this pounding headache, and one of the gods, I believe it was
I'm gonna hide from this frog, so I'll become a fly.
Hephaestus. Hephaestus cuts Zeus's head open, and from his head, because he swallowed his pregnant wife, she was living in his head as like a fly. It was part of his conscious. She's still there.
Okay.
So he has his pounding headache. They cut his head open, and Athena and the
child?
the muse, the 9 muses, they come out.
Was that the child?
Athena, yeah.
Athena's child was the muses that was inside her?
No. Metis was the wife that he swallowed, and Athena was the child born from his head. Oh. She was hanging out in his head, still pregnant, still a fly. And then apparently gave birth in there, and then Athena comes out, fully grown, out of his head. And then the muse also comes from his head.
Fascinating.
Then we have Apollo. He's the son of Zeus and Leto, god of the sun. Apollo is god of the sun, music and poetry, prophecy, and healing. We have Artemis, goddess of the hunt, daughter of Zeus and Leto, goddess of the hunt, wilderness, and childbirth. We have Ares, the god of war. This is the son of Zeus and Hera. He's the god of war and violence. We have Aphrodite, goddess of love, born from the sea after Kronos threw Uranus' genitals into the sea, and she's the goddess of love, beauty, and desire.
It's fascinating.
So
the goddess of love came out of such a situation.
Yes.
So at some point, do these gods stop recreating or procreating? And
No. Even when humans come along, they have children with the humans.
are they still having children?
Maybe. Maybe that's where David Goggins came from. Guess who else is going to carry the boats?
It's a lot of children.
Excuse me.
A lot of names to
We
remember.
have Hephaestus. He is the son of Zeus and Hera, god of fire, blacksmiths, and volcanoes. This one,
Hephaestus sounds feisty.
at a young age, he was so ugly that Hera cast him right off Mount Olympia.
Huh.
Where, just like many outcast orphans, he was raised by some kindly
Wolves.
folks in the woods, I mean. And then he ends up coming back, and they end up welcoming him back, I think, because, can't remember who it was. Somebody put a spell on the chair where Hera was sitting, and it wrapped around her. And since he's the god of blacksmith, he was able to
He made a
blacksmith
tool to get her out.
Get her out, yeah. And then so he gets his position as an Olympian, and then next we have Hermes, the messenger god. He's often equated to, I believe, Set and other gods of mischief, actually, like Loki. Hermes
Tricksters.
is the son of Zeus and Maya. He's the messenger of the gods of trade, thieves, and travels. He's the god that you'll see with wings on his ankles because he's the messenger god, so he...
Oh.
Yeah. We have Dionysus. This is a god, one of the many gods in their mythological tale.
These are all Zeus's
Who
children?
dies and resurrects. Yes.
Good crikey.
No. Some of them are Kronos and Rhea.
Oh, okay.
Or Kronos and the water or the earth. Because when his
Ew.
junk was flying through the sky. Mm-hmm. And then finally, wait. We have Dionysus. He's the son of Zeus and Semele. He's the god of wine, festivals, and ecstasy. Sometimes considered one of the main Olympians, replacing Hestia. And then it's kind of funny because that's kind of like the 12 apostles. You have like some that are like, sometimes they're included, sometimes they're not. The names change. Mm-hmm. Or we have like Judas, and then we have, I think, Thaddeus, who replaced Judas. 12. Pantheon of 12. That is, we also have 12 tribes of Israel.
Do these Greeks play into astrology at all?
Greek? Yeah, of course.
Like, I mean, are any of the Greek gods like represented by astrological signs or constellations?
Like Ares was Mars. And like the Romans, they basically had the same pantheon as the Greeks. They just changed the names. And Ares, the god of war, that was Mars.
So all these gods that you're listing, they're going to be Olympians, right? Mm-hmm. All right.
And lastly, we have Hestia, goddess of the hearth, fire, and home.
Hearth.
Hearth, yes. Thank you.
Hearth.
She was another one that was swallowed by Kronos, but later regurgitated. She's the goddess of hearth, home, and family. That's the 12. And so,
I'd be hanging out with her. She sounds the nicest.
Zeus, he has this new order of gods, and rather than ruling everything with an iron fist like his father did, he delegates.
As any wise leader should.
Mm-hmm.
What's he delegate?
He makes Poseidon the god of the sea. He makes...
So they were just nobody gods, and he gave them their assignments?
Well, they were born, they fought in the Titanomachy, and then right after that is when they
All right.
received their godhood.
So we have this hierarchy of Olympians ruling with Zeus, their demi-ruler thing. And then what? That's just how it's been?
Well, it's weird. I thought Hades was one of them, but I guess not.
Your AI just said it was.
Did he? I didn't read Hades.
Well, yeah, earlier when you said who the children were, it gave 4 names.
It does. Hades is one of the children or siblings of Zeus, but not an Olympian. He's not mentioned as an Olympian.
Is it a Titan?
No, he's like...
Just his own thing.
Yeah, maybe his own
Like the
thing.
Hecka...
Because he didn't rule up. He didn't rule up on Mount Olympia with the rest of them. He was, down in Hades, down in Tartarus.
Well, frick.
Then we'll also see other gods being given positions like Thanatos. He was god. He was basically like the Grim Reaper. He would go to people when it was their time to go. He would say, "Hey, come with me. It's time to go." He would bring them to Hades. Or no. He would bring them to Hermes. Actually, he was the ferryman that would bring the soul to Tartarus, the world
Basically a
of the dead.
Reaper.
So we would have Thanatos. He would get the dead person and he'd bring them to Hermes, and then Hermes would bring them to Hades, where they'd hang out for the rest of their soul's bleak existence.
So what happens in the story after the birth of all these Olympians?
So Zeus, he gets kind of restless, Life with just the Olympians and the other gods, there's just not much action, not much entertainment going on. Then, he feels like there's something missing.
He's missing those war zones.
He needs, how you feel when you need to create a song.
Anxious.
He has something. Yeah, he has this angst, this thing in him. Feels like he needs to create. So he goes and gets his old buddy Prometheus. Prometheus was one of the Titans, but he turned good. He turned to the side of the Olympians.
A traitor.
Prometheus, his gift is foresight. He can see the future. So, and he's good with his hands. So. Zeus goes to Prometheus in the middle of the night, and he's like, hey, come with me. I got this idea. And Prometheus is like, are we going boar hunting again? Because apparently Prometheus and Zeus, they like to go on boar hunting together, hunting for wild hogs.
Yeah, why not? So are there humans yet?
Nope. This is the creation of humans. And he goes and he gets them, and he's like, I want to create these things that they're like us, but they're smaller and not as powerful. And I want to fill the whole earth with them.
Why?
So
That sounds
he just
chaotic.
feels like he needs to create something. He wants to create humans. So him and Prometheus and Athena, they go to this place where there's this great clay, right? They create yellow humans from the yellow clay, white humans from the white clay. There's even blue humans from blue clay that they create.
No way.
Yeah. And Zeus, he spits in the clay. So we have Zeus spitting in the clay to create moisture. Prometheus forms the humans with their hands because he's good with his hands. And then, when they're fully formed, he has Athena give them the breath of life. She blows on them.
Jesus must be Zeus, and he was giving us an allusion to it, a clue, when he healed the blind man by spitting in the dirt.
Maybe.
Conspiracy theory of the day.
Well, it also says in John that after his resurrection, he breathed on his disciples so that they would have the same spirit as he has.
This is true.
In the Gospel of John.
Or he's just saying, hey, don't pay attention to these stupid mythological stories because I am God and everything. I do these things that you say that these other gods do.
What happened to the humans that Prometheus and Zeus made from the blue clay?
Good question. You might be
Always
thinking of the
says
myth
that.
where Prometheus created humans from clay. According to myth, Prometheus, wanting to protect and care for humans, defied Zeus by stealing fire from the gods and giving...
No, that's too far ahead. Okay, so needless to say, something happens to... I think when they give them life and create them, they get so scared that they, like, run off and, like...
All right.
Or maybe they accidentally get stepped on. I can't remember. If somebody does remember, go ahead and comment on this on YouTube to help us all out. But so they have these little humans created. They're starting to populate the earth. And then Prometheus has the idea to give them fire. And Zeus says, no. Under absolutely no circumstances will you give them fire. Because with fire, they can create weapons. They can burn the whole earth down. It's just a terrible idea. But Prometheus, since he made these humans by hand, he has a greater sense of sympathy for the humans than Zeus and Athena does. So he sneaks around Olympia and goes and gets the fire from Mount
What
Olympia.
happens when you trust a Titan?
Brings it down to Earth. And he gives the humans fire. Fire from the gods. It's a good band you should check out, by the way. Fire from the gods. So he gives the humans fire.
Do the humans destroy themselves?
After the Prometheus gives the humans fire, Zeus becomes furious at his defiance. As a punishment, Zeus has Prometheus chained to a rock in the Caucasus Mountains, where an eagle devours his liver every day. Since Prometheus is immortal, his liver regenerates overnight, and the eagle returns the next day to repeat the torment. For humans, Zeus creates Pandora, the first woman, and sends her to Earth, because I guess they are all guys, apparently, at this point. And he sends this jar with Pandora. Not a box. People often think it's a Pandora's box. It's not. It was Pandora's jar.
A jar with Pandora in it.
No. Pandora's the first woman. It's the archetypal Eve.
Okay.
So this is
so man was just man. No
what
woman.
You're about to see is this is the archetypal tree of knowledge, per se. This is like... In a lot of these old cultures, they have the woman does something wrong, and that changes the fabric of existence. This is the Greek myths version of that. So for humans, Zeus creates Pandora, the first woman, and sends her to Earth with a jar containing all the evils of the world. And Prometheus' brother, Epimetheus, is actually... Prometheus and Epimetheus, they went down after their defiance, and they lived on Earth amongst the humans and taught humans a lot of different trades.
Until they were chained to the rock.
So think of them as like, in a lot of these old cultures, like the Judeo-Christian one, you have them painting the fallen angels as like somebody lived amongst the humans and taught them things. That's pretty common.
And this was
trend.
before that Prometheus was chained to the rock to be eaten by an eagle.
Him and his brother Epimetheus went and lived amongst the humans. And they taught them trades and whatnot. And Epimetheus became husband to Pandora. Epimetheus, despite Prometheus's warnings, accepts Pandora as a gift or a wife, and she opens the jar.
She opens it.
Yes.
Okay. Red flag, bro.
Releasing all the evils and misfortunes upon humanity. This myth highlights the complex relationship between humans, Prometheus, and the gods, showcasing the consequences of defying divine order.
Interesting. So these evils are just what, like pride, lust, murder, stuff like that?
1 second. About to pull that up. It was hardship, pain, sickness, greed, ambition, revenge, plague, and old age.
Ambition. Old age.
And in Stephen Fry's book Mythos, it says just before she went to close it, and there was these things came out, I believe, like in the form of like locusts.
Okay.
Yeah. So they flew out in the form of locusts. And Stephen Fry in his book Mythos says as she went to close it, there was one more locust left to fly out, and that was named Hope.
So you're telling me that hope is evil?
Yeah, I don't know why he doesn't go much into that, because they're saying
well, that
in
throws
one
a wrench
sense
in things, doesn't
that
it?
the world is hopeless, if that's the case, but also saying that like that's amongst the evils. Maybe it's because maybe the thought behind it is that hope is deceptive. I don't agree with that, but
So the evils are unleashed, and then what happens to Pandora and her husband?
well, then I believe that's when the flood story takes place.
What is it? Epimetheus?
Epimetheus.
Epimetheus. Why did the flood happen? All the evils are unleashed, and they're like, oh, frick, there's too many evils. Let's wipe it out.
So after all this, Zeus decides to destroy humanity with a great flood due to their wickedness and corruption. Deucalion, the son of Prometheus, is warned about the impending flood by his father.
He goes and warns one. This is just like Gilgamesh.
Prometheus, knowing Zeus's plan, advises Deucalion to build a chest or ark to save himself, his family, and Phyra, and potentially some animals. The flood comes, and Deucalion and Pyrrha float on the chest for 9 days. When the flood waters recede, they land on Mount Parnas or Mount Orthrus,
Ararat in the Bible.
depending on the virgin. Deucalion and Phyra then offer sacrifices to Zeus and ask for guidance on how to repopulate the earth. And then we have many, many more stories involving these gods and these people. But that is at least as far as I'm going to go with the Greek creation story.
That's well past creation, and we're getting a lot of names on this list of gods. And I was tracking, and like all these children, like, okay.
Think of like the amount of time between Genesis 1 and Genesis 6. We have we have Garden of Eden. They're cast out of Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve, and Cain, Abel, and Seth, and their descendants. And then we have a flood that comes
after Methuselah and Enoch.
And Moses and his sons and daughters also, it says, make offerings. It's very common after the flood. They usually make offerings to the god or gods.
So if Jesus came to be the final sacrifice for us, so we don't have to make sin offerings anymore, does that mean that we still should make other offerings?
That would depend on who you ask. I don't believe in sacrifice in that sense. There's in Judaism they await the building of the third temple. Some of them do. Some of them see. Some within Judaism and many obviously Christianity sees it in this way, but they see sacrifices like outdated, barbaric.
Maybe that's what's missing in our culture.
We connect with God on a more personal level today. But there are also many within Orthodox Judaism that do await the third temple being built.
You know anybody with a spotless and perfect goat?
The takeaway of many of the New Testament authors is that sacrifice was done away with by the blood of Jesus. I think the message of Jesus was more so the authentic historical Jesus. I feel like he was more so speaking against the temple politics, the people who were ruling over
religious duties.
Yes, the system had become corrupt, and he was telling people to pull away from that. And basically, he believed that, I believe the authentic Jesus, the historical Jesus, he was like an apocalypticist. He believed that the state of the world is corrupt and God's going to come back soon with bringing the kingdom of heaven, and he's going to set things straight.
And we should give thank offerings and peace offerings in the meantime. That's what you're saying.
There's even folks within the Messianic movement that recognize Jesus' sacrifice as remission of sins, but not the abolition of other offerings.
Dude, you know what? I honestly think that I kind of agree with that. Like, I'm not going to go in my backyard with some candles and make an altar and stick a cow on there, but...
Well, according to the Old Testament authors, though, the only acceptable sacrifice would be in Jerusalem on the Temple Mount.
Why?
Because that's the place God chose. He chose that land to be worshipped in.
So we're just screwed because of our geology, where we're at.
I agree with the scholars that it started out as a henotheism. That was the god for the Israelites that they were supposed to worship in their land. And a good example of so they believed you had to be in the land of Israel to even worship Yahweh. In the Old Testament, we have Naaman. He's, I believe, I want to say perhaps, no, he's not Philistinian. He's not a Philistine. He comes from a far out kingdom where they're pagans. And he's looking for healing from his leprosy. So he goes and sees the prophet Elisha. And after he experiences his healing, the prophet Elisha, I believe, tells him to dip in the water, the Jordan, 3 times. Comes out, his leprosy's gone. He says, I want to worship Yahweh when I'm back in my homeland. But how can I worship him when I'm on his land? Elisha tells him to take such and such many loads of dirt from the land of Israel back to his home and worship, put the dirt from Israel in his temple.
Where is
and
this?
Worship that God. This is going to be, I believe, 2 Kings. And you would see this many times in old temples. If there's like a god in that temple who was from a distant land, that god would be setting in the temple on a section of basically like a sandbox where it's dirt from the land that god originates from. So you're still worshiping that god.
Let's go get some land. Israel dirt. By some. Put it on the studio floor.
Well, I don't believe in that, but that certainly would be good. It'd be a cool vibe for the podcast, nonetheless.
I wouldn't say I'm superstitious, but I do believe in stuff like that. Like, I don't think a black cat walking in front of you is bad luck necessarily, but there's also some power in some fasting and prayer and meditation, So anyway, the Greek creation story. That's pretty much creation of the flood. So we just covered the Greek Genesis.
Yep. And I apologize for, maybe being a little spotty, maybe stumbling over things a bit. I was actually anticipating doing the Baal cycle today.
Oh, I think that one was fun.
Yes. The Baal cycle, when we do that, that's going to be, in a lot of ways, a deep dive on not just Baal, but other dying and resurrecting gods, because that's a trend you see through many mythological tales. There's a god, usually a god of fertility, that dies and resurrects every year.
Every year?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the story just gets more and more interesting.
Represents spring and winter.
Well, with that, do you want to wrap it up?
Yeah, let's
put a bow on it.
Well, let's move over to our next segment.
Yes, sir.
Musical suggestions and discussion.
What is your favorite album?
My favorite album?
Any genre.
My
or do you want me to narrow it down?
When it comes to personal favorite, it'd be The Wall by Pink Floyd.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Why?
I like how that entire album, it's the concept album, so it tells a story of this man. It's written by Roger Waters, and it's like an allegory of his life. But this man, his father dies in World War II. His mom, there's some abusive sides to her, to say the least. He ends up joining this band. His wife leaves him, cheats on him while he's out touring. And this wall throughout the album, it represents him closing himself off to the world, building a wall around himself. And that through building that wall, it creates much of the pain that comes from self-created seclusion.
I know this album, and you are right.
Yep.
It is a very dark, introspective album. And because it's Pink Floyd, and I'm an audio engineer, I have to give some credit where it's due. Pink Floyd is better than they would have otherwise been because of their audio engineer. Just the mixes of these songs, like the different elements in the sonic space, the frequencies, the panning, where it's at in space, left, right, like just the way they edit it makes you feel fully immersed in this sound. And this album's old too. You know what year it is? It's 80 something.
83, I want to say.
83.
Yeah.
So what genre would you call that? Rock?
Back then, it would have been considered psychedelic rock or progressive rock.
Psychedelic rock. That's
Yeah.
a good name for it.
Yeah.
Man, I think I would have to go with the same band, but say it's Dark Side of the Moon.
Dark Side. That favorite album?
Yeah.
Really?
Because of those dang audio engineers. Like, it just sounds so good. The sound, regardless of the lyrics, like, it's so well created, and it's so creative. And then it's like The Wall. It's very dark. It's bleak, the state of man, you know, our situation that we're in. And it's like
the album Dark Side of the Moon, it's supposed to be about, the concept behind it is supposed to be about sanity and insanity, the mind. Because they had a band member, Syd Barrett, who, he was a singer for the earlier albums, but he ended up developing schizophrenia. There was a time that he did, it said that he did acid for a week straight. Acid, psilocybin, other psychedelics, even weed, they can, if you have like the chemical makeup in your brain to develop schizophrenia or bipolar, it can speed it up. It doesn't cause it out of nowhere, but it will speed it up. So I think that was the case with Syd Barrett. I think the LSD damaged him quite a bit. He ended up losing his mind, unfortunately. And many of their later albums and songs are actually about him, like Wish You Were Here. They're singing about him. Shine On You Crazy Diamond.
Yeah.
It's about him.
Really?
And
I didn't know these things.
Much of Dark Side of the Moon is, it's not only talking about his traversing into insanity, but many other band members and just kind of maybe the state of their sanity versus insanity, you know? Like, just an album that was like very introspective and represented the complexity of the mind and how one can go insane, so to speak.
So those are the musical recommendations. If you want a comedy album, there's a guy I just found really recently that's very not popular, and probably for a reason. His sound is it's kind of corny, cheesy, very white guy. It's a rap album. Actually, there's 3 of them. They're by this guy called Scoochie Boochie.
Scoochie Boochie.
And this dude is straight up comedy. Listen to it if you want to laugh. And, you know, his wordplay is his puns and jokes and stuff. His last 3 albums that he's come out with, they're all of them funny. Get me laughing on every listen through. Trying to think of other albums.
A song that I've been playing on repeat a lot recently, Coulter Wall, he's like my favorite country singer. Living on the Sand by Coulter Wall and You Look to Yours by Coulter Wall. Highly recommend.
Oh, JID, Jit, and Eminem just released a song on his little 4-track album called, I think it's Animals Part 2. Gotta check that out. That one's really good. More of what I listen to, just wordplay. Interesting, creative use of English language.
Yes.
So, we're an hour 25 in. You want to wrap it up now?
Let's wrap this up.
So, until next time.
I apologize this time for all the comments about, well, dick and balls.
It's part of the story.
It's part of the story, though. Part of the strange world. Part of a strange story.
That's an understatement. That's quite strange.
Yeah, needless to say. So until next time,
be kind.
Let's
curious.
Let's keep traversing the strange world
with inquisitiveness.
Yes, and kindness and curiosity, and let's remember to, be careful with our bodies and not injure ourselves in competitions.
Especially when somebody's got a scythe coming for your, know what.
Yeah. Let's remember to be neighborly to ourselves and neighborly to others, because at the end of the day, we're all just strangers in a strange land. So until next time.
That was cute.
Yes, I agree. Very cute. Very cute indeed. Until next time, peace.
Toodles.
I like that one.
If you would like to contact us, email us at peaceandtoodles@gmail.com. Until next time, salutations, my fellow strangers.
What will they think of next?